group. You can literally make it as busy or not as you like. We do island tours. You want to go around the island. We'll take you to the beach somewhere else if that's what you want to do, or beach bars. And it all really depends on what you want to do. I mean, we do weddings as well. And obviously when you do a wedding, you are literally organising kind of events for people from the second that they get through the door. They want to do a series of things, and obviously culminating in getting married, but they don't normally want to just sort of sit around. And so, you know, we can do anything. And the nice thing about being so small is that we can literally do things that are very bespoke, and you don't sort of get an ingress of like there's a group of 100 over there doing something and another group over here of 25. You know, generally speaking, we're so small that in fact you actually pretty much will get to meet everybody, and everybody will respect each other and what they're doing.
You can follow me on Twitter at holiday_hut. You said at the beginning of the Paradise Beach bit that you do a chef, or you can do self-catering.
Yes.
Do you deliver food from the local shops, or do the clients go out?
We do. I mean, as I say, we pretty much do anything. I mean, but so the general routine would be if you were to desire to book Paradise Beaches, we would then send you an email or a letter basically saying this is what you can have, these are all the events, these are the things you can do, because there are, you know, also certain times of year, as we said, you know, you get different events. I mean, you get Culture Armour, and you get the Blues Festival, and there's lots of things that could be going on, and we'd tell you about all of these. And then at the same time, we would also give you a list of stuff that you could actually order in advance to have your fridge filled. So if you particularly like certain sort of food, you just tick it all off. When you get there, your fridge is full. And when you're there, if you don't want to shop, you can just tell the concierge or the butler, can I have this, can I have that? And they'll just go get it for you and you put it in. If you want to shop, I quite like to go to local shops. They'll take you to the shops as well. I mean, it completely depends on how involved you want to be. I mean, some people, you know, their wives have had enough of sort of cooking and looking after the family and want to come and have a break themselves, and they don't want to do any of that, in which case, you know, we can do literally everything from every single meal that you have in your villa completely taken care of, all the shopping completely taken care of. And I mean, we even do a thing with the local restaurants where you can order food for the local restaurants and we will bring that to you if that's what you want. That's really no problem. On the other hand, some people, and I put my hand up, I'm one of them, I like cooking, and I absolutely love having a vessel down in the morning and make my own breakfast without having to sort of be polite and say hello to somebody that I've only just met on holiday. And it's just a different thing, and I love going around shops. I love to see, you know, the local markets, what food they're actually selling. I mean, that's a very cultural experience itself. So, you know, we don't do either one to the exclusion of the other. It completely depends what our clients wish to do, you know, what they're coming away for. You know, if they're coming away, as I said, to just sort of bury themselves and have a completely de-stress, and they don't want to cook, and they don't want to see anybody, and they don't want to do anything, they just want to sort of, you know, read a book by the pool, that's absolutely achievable. But if you want to do something else, you know, you want to go to restaurants, you want to go to markets, you want to go fishing, you want to go horse riding, you want to do yoga, you want to go running, if you want to go cycling around the island, we've got a fantastic guy who basically owns a cycle shop, and we get really good quality bikes, because that can be a problem when you go to places you rent stuff and it's not very good. We quality control absolutely everything, which is a really important thing to do in the Caribbean. And so, as I say, you can do as little or as much as you like, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure on you. It's offered. If you want it, you can do it. It's completely up to you.
If somebody has a specific requirement when it comes to dietary requirements, I'm a vegan, as I mention every week on my show.
Yeah.
How much notice would you like to give your chef before arrival? I've just been to Antigua and I gave him a couple of weeks' notice.
It doesn't really need that much notice, because actually, quite honestly, a lot of people on Ireland are vegetarian or vegan. I mean, the island, it's how can I describe it? One thing about the Caribbean, having travelled there a lot, is that islands have a very different kind of flavour. Antigua is a lot more commercial. There's a lot more what I call commercial kind of businesses running on there. Barbados is, I think, is quite blingy. Nevis is not like that. Nevis is quite old, quiet charm, and a lot of people are very much into food, natural living, and so, you know, to actually find all of the things that you might want if you were sort of looking for like a healthy diet, that's really very easy on Ireland because people are quite geared up for that.
Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. Coming to the end of my conversation with James Cabourne, the owner of Paradise Beach Resort in Nevis. We found out that they do weddings there, and it's a place to go and relax or be as active as you wish. But what about corporate events? Could you persuade your boss to fly you over there for a meeting or some team building? So we're now going to find out if Paradise Beach Nevis can cater for corporate dues.
Yes, we do. I mean, we've had some fairly serious politicians come over actually in the past and take over the whole resort. I mean, the great thing about it is it's big enough to have, you know, quite a few people, but it's small enough to take over the whole resort if you wanted to do it. The other thing about the villas is that they're big. I mean, when it says that they can sleep 8, I mean, quite honestly, if you put 2 more bedrooms on it and said that you could sleep 12, all of the actual spaces that you're in are so big in scale that you still wouldn't be cramped. So if you were going to do a corporate retreat, for instance, and you just took one of the villas, you would easily have enough room, you know, for the average sort of getaway. If you took 2 of the villas, you'd be going crazy. And even if you had 2 of the villas full and you wanted to have all your meetings in one of the villas, they're so big, it would be big enough to accommodate it. So they are quite good for that. And the other thing about it is, of course, again, going back to the privacy aspect of it all, is if you just want to very quietly have these meetings, you can do them without being disturbed the whole time, because you can literally just shut the door and you've got the wall around the house and you're good to go.
I'll have to get onto the station bosses and suggest it for one year.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Yeah. When it comes to booking a visit to you, do you only book direct, or are there UK tour operators that offer you?
No, we actually do operate through some reputable tour operators in the UK. Mm-hmm. Carrier, Carib Tours, Elegant Resorts, Azure Collection, those, or you can just get on the website and deal with this direct. I mean, sometimes, we've got really good tour operators, in fairness, because we don't need to have millions and millions of them, because we've only got a limited amount of inventory. But in some ways, if you want to find out about us, we don't really mind whether you book direct or whether you go through a tour operator. If you just pick up the phone or pop us an email, if you have any kind of inquiries, we always respond, because we really set our whole store by service. That's really it. I mean, if you come over to us, and we could have we do have the most fantastic beach in the world, and we do have the most fantastic beach bar, and the gardens are beautiful, but if your laundry's not done very well, if the concierge isn't done very well, if your fridge isn't stocked very well, if the service just basically falls down in any one area, you're not going to have a very good time. And we recognize that. So we set our store very much by service and accommodating individual requests, because that's what we are. We're a bespoke organization rather than just stamping out an experience. And so in some ways, if you wanted to know something, or you wanted something that you wanted organizing beforehand, or just to find out whether you could have it. I mean, a lot of people have hobbies, like a lot of people are really into cycling. And a friend of mine, he was absolutely thrilled because he phoned up and they basically organised an entire cycling tour all around the island every day with a guy who's a semi-professional racer. This guy takes it very seriously. And he could maintain his training regime. And of course, cycling around the island is a fantastic way of seeing things. He used to get up really early in the morning and cycle around with this guy, and had a wonderful time. When we have all sorts of things to see that you just can't even really put in a brochure. I mean, we've got lots of wild donkeys, for instance, on the island, and you see them all over the place. But when you're on a bicycle, of course, you see loads. We have wild pigs, you see those. You know, we have fantastic little spice birds all over the place. You'll see those. You don't see them in a car. When you're on a bike, you'll see absolutely everything. Of course, we have troops of monkeys, and we have mongoose. And these are all fantastic things to see. You won't see them in a car, you will see them on foot, and you will see them on a bicycle. So for those sort of things, I think you can't beat a direct inquiry, really.
So how can we find out more about Nevis in general and Paradise Beach in particular?
Well, I think the easiest way with Paradise Beach is Google us, basically, or go on our website. And we've had quite a lot of press attention, which is nice. But equally, our website, we try and keep that up to date. We take the website very seriously because some ways, everybody wants to find everything out on the internet these days, as we all do. And it's a really good way. Nevis has its own tourist authority website as well. So you can look on that if you are slightly worried that we might be biased, which I unashamedly am. So those are the best ways, I think, of doing it. And if you things like Daily Mail, any of these newspapers, if you look them up online, there'll be articles that they've done before that you can actually read about Nevis and about us specifically. I mean, Nevis is quite well documented because obviously Lady Di came to Nevis with William and Harry when they were little. So that kind of put us in the public eye. And in many ways, Nevis really hasn't changed much since those days. It still has exactly the same appeal now as it did then, really.
Okay, thanks, James. Thank you for your time, and you've definitely got me sold anyway. The website for Nevis Tourism is www.nevisisland.com, and for James's place, it's www.paradisebeachnevis.com. As always, the web addresses mentioned on the show will be found at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Just look for the entry for the 27th of October show. The brief bit of travel news for this week is that Hawaiian Airlines has been investigated after introducing a policy of weighing passengers on a single flight to American Samoa. Some passengers claimed that the action was discriminatory and 6 complaints were filed with the US Department of Transport. However, the department upheld the Hawaiian Airlines policy, which the airline said was needed to ensure safe distribution of passengers throughout the cabin. The airline said it had excessive fuel burn on flights to Pago Pago and it scrapped pre-selection of seats so that it could distribute weight evenly throughout the cabin. After a 6-month voluntary passenger survey, the route showed an excess weight of £30 per passenger and baggage compared to the airline's previous estimate. This route is the only one on Hawaiian Airlines where passengers cannot pre-select seats ahead of their flight, and as I say, it's for weight distribution. I'm quite a large chap myself, 18 stone, 6'3", so I take up a bit of space too, and you have to wonder why they're so hot on suitcases but never the people, especially when you see some of the people who have to sit next to me. And between us, we often make a 3-seater into a 2. Do you agree with passengers being weighed? Would you think that if you weigh less, you should have more luggage? Let me know what you feel. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And I hope you can join me next time on the Travel Show with John Guinn on UKHealthRadio.com, where each week I'm checking it out before you check in.